Yo, what up, YouTube? It's your boy in the whatever. You already know. You're probably looking at this video and be like, hold on, the homie wore the shirt yesterday, but this is in fact, I just did this video. Well, I just did the other video, now I'm dropping this one. If for the simple fact that this video has been on my mind for quite some time, because it's just something like I noticed I've been seeing it a whole lot in the industry as far as like when it comes to Hispanic rappers. I know some people hate the fact of that. I don't like. It's so many different ways and different terms in order to call somebody something. Some people like Hispanic, some people don't like that. Some people just say they're Mexicanos. Some people don't like that. Some people say they're Chicanos. You got all these. You got Tainos, Latinos. You got all this different. Same people, different title. As far as like, and I know people can go deep into it, and I'm not trying to give no history lesson or for people to, I'll do my own research, but it's just, that's besides the point. You know what I mean? Basically, this whole video is about the fact of Hispanic rappers disrespecting each other in order to get on. And it's not like, you had rappers back in the day such as, Little One, you had Lil Rob, you had Shadow, you had a few other San Diego rappers, and you had Proper Los, you had Kid Frost, you had there's a list. I can go on and on exactly how many Hispanic rappers from Los Angeles, upstate, all the way down to San Diego, and on. You know what I mean? That were really trying to put on for the culture, but nowadays it's different. Like they did their little dissing back in the days, but it was nothing on the level of or on the scale as far as the rappers of today. Like there's a lot of them, because as far as like on IG, especially when you do YouTube, you start running into a lot of different cats that either want to collab with you, or they want you to interview them, or they just want to mess with you, period. Some in a disrespectful manner, so you just don't get along with them. But I've noticed that trend. And if it was just something that was like, like it was a trend that had already, not even a trend, but if it was something that had already been there, then I would probably see it as if it was nothing. But for the simple fact that it's more and more, Hispanic rappers are starting to disrespect each other, and not even in the way to where it's just like, a little beef. It's like hardcore, F your mom, this and that, I catch you on the block, I'ma smoke you, like all this stupid stuff, showing guns on IG, pull up to this blog, drop the addy, like all this other stupid stuff that you never heard them say before. And I get it. At first I didn't get it, but I just couldn't understand, because I noticed the homies used to think in a certain way, and people always associated that type of like rap beef with more towards blacks. You know what I'm saying? Like, because mostly that's who people paid attention to as far as like in the rap game. But now that homies and Hispanics are really starting to get like a little foothold in the game, I notice instead of like cultivating that particular little entrance that they got, they tend to want to diss each other. And that's not something that it's not to say the homies are infallible, or their etiquette or the way they do things are proper. No, homies are grimy, just as grimy as any other gangster on the street. But the thing is, it's funny because people are only doing that now because they've seen other people do it. Change the whole stilo of rap in order because they see somebody else do it. And like I said, I got many people on my YouTube, on my IG that they rap a certain way, they got a certain stilo, and it's just their stilo. So I'm not here to really point out anybody's particular way of talking, and whether they use the N-word or whether they refuse to use the N-word, whether they're super troll, or whether they're just in their own lane, hip-hop, whatever. But it's like, that's fine. But the thing I just don't really understand is the fact why they feel disrespecting each other in order is the only way to get on. And I've seen it many times, and a lot of them are starting to have the same stilo as far as the way they talk, the way they rap, the way they do everything. You know what I mean? And then you got a certain general group that don't really get into that. You know what I mean? They don't shift their way of talking. They don't do none of that. They just keep it a certain way, and that's just the way that they keep it. But the beef amongst Hispanics right now is so trivial in rap because you haven't got a foothold yet. You got a toe in the door, but instead of, like I was saying, help somebody pull a whole foot in, you would rather get disrespectful and disrespect each other in order for other people to pay attention. And that's why I say, like, especially with the game is so watered and tore down. The old way of thinking and the old way of doing things is done. And it's sad to say, but it's done. There's only a few people that actually keep it the way that it's supposed to be. Now it's more open. People think with a different state of mind, and people do things a lot different. And I can't, as an older cat, I can't really hold on to the same ideals that I held on to before. I was still represented according to the way I was taught. But as far as like automatically giving somebody the benefit of the doubt because they may appear solid, or you know what I mean, or just anything, or feeling not disrespected, but feeling indifferent towards somebody that may not dress and talk like me but may still be a homie, is something that, you know, in the past that people would get smashed for that. Like if you walked into your neighborhood sagging, you were getting beat the hell up because it was either are you representing this, or you want to be over there? You know what I mean? Because there's confusion. You know what I mean? And nowadays there's no real it's no real gray area. You know, before it was either white or black, and that's not like as far as race, but like you had your styles and you stayed in those styles, and other people stayed in their styles. But now it's so blended, which is the sign of the times. I mean, not even a sign of the time, but it's just things have changed, and a lot of people find it a hard pill to swallow. But that's not even really the you know the point of this video. The point of the video is that it's sad that people have to disrespect each other in order to get on. You got dudes that got major talent, but they got to change their whole stilo and everything in order to fit a certain genre. Like the people that get it out the mud and didn't have to really change anything, you know, it's a slow process. You may get respect in certain areas, but it's a slow process. These other ones, you know, it's like I feel bad that they had to switch up their whole stilo in order to, you know, to be able to feel like, you know, they're a relevant rapper, or, you know, or people are actually taking them serious. And in some situations, people are taking you serious. Some people might look at you and be like, you know what, this dude got actual talent. But then you're gonna have the majority of people like, this fool trying to be something else. You know what I mean? And people say that to me all the time. I'm trying to be something else. But I mean, I'm not. If you can tell me what that's supposed to act like, then you know, then I'll be quiet. You know what I mean? But other than that, it's just like people need to take a hard look at themselves when they're dealing with this game. It's like if you're gonna be a rapper and you're going to be repping for your people, you need to bring your people along. You can no longer continue to step on them. People scream F King Lil G all the time because they figure he should give him a helping hand, or he should do this, he should do that. You know what I mean? Like, you got to get it out the money. You got to get it your own way. Cornell's not crying about that. Bozo Bam ain't crying about that. And there's a lot of other rappers that you know, really got spit that ain't crying about it. They still constantly... The homie West still pushing his way. Big Al still pushing his way. Big Al, you know, I don't know. I think he's been in the game for a minute, but you know what I'm saying? You got all these up and coming rappers that are just getting it the right way. They don't feel like they have to disrespect one another in order to get it. And if it's like a little petty beef, it's settled quick. It's no bloodshed. It's no really taking it to the next level. And the thing that the whole reason about this video is because I'm starting to see homies take it to the next level. Like really so disrespectful and so grimy to where it's like, oh, we rushing each other at the club, or you can't pull up to certain spots. Before it was congratulations. Like, that's right, you know, you got a gang of homies in the house. You know, we rock them in there doing our thing and just chilling. You know, Vagos, they break out, they fight, whatever. But it wasn't no like, oh, fool, you get banned from this show, or you get... You know, it wasn't none of that. But now it's like, I figure that's like, I see it. It's more prevalent now, not just amongst blacks. It's amongst Hispanics now. It's like I'm trying to figure out. It's like now they're pushing the harder line in the rap game. You just don't really hear about it because they don't have that type of real shine that that an up and coming black rapper would have. You know what I mean? And maybe it's just due to people, like they say, the whole genre and the whole thing with hip hop was a black thing, which it is no longer. But I mean, right now it still is, because that's the majority of the top selling artists. But you still got a lot of Hispanic artists that are independent, that are actually doing their thing, getting their money. See, it's a difference. Do you want to get rich or do you want fame? Some people got fame but are broke. Some people got riches and don't got no fame, but they're still grinding, they're still doing their thing. They're either independent, well, most likely independent, and they're getting real money. You know what I'm saying? Some that you probably wouldn't even guess that are getting it, because they're not out there flashing with gold chains and big medallions and diamonds encrusted everywhere. I mean, you got rappers now that do that are Hispanic, and that's their, it's on them. A lot of people said that I shouldn't put out music, but I figured I can do it, and if people don't listen to it, they just don't. Then I stop. You know what I mean? But if people, the type of buzz that I'm getting right now, if people want to hear it, I'll put it out there. I don't care. You know what I mean? And some of it might be disrespectful, but it's you go with your own vibe, and straight to your character. But like, I know this video is long, you know what I mean? But hopefully, when it comes to Hispanics and shit, they come together and just really realize that in order to really go far, you got to work together. You got to reach out, bipartisanship. You know what I mean? If you was doing politics, and reach across the aisle and have an exchange with each other without wanting to take each other's head off over stupid stuff that really was no beef. You just wanted to kick it up because he had a little buzz at that time. You know what I mean? This Kilo G out the way, doing his thing, getting his money, doing his parties. And he's good, and I can respect that. I got some boys that's, out there doing their thing, but eventually, after the COVID is up, they're gonna come up. It's only a matter of time. Plain and simple fact, man. Help your gente. You know what I mean? Shout out to Purple Demon. Shout out to K2K. Shout out to Misfit Soto. Even though me and him don't really talk like that. Shout out to Conejo. Shout out to Bozo Bam. Shout out to Peso. Shout out to a gang of fools that's out there doing it, man. I respect your hustle, and keep it up. You know what I mean? Keep it up. Oh, and steady lifting. Oh, and POP. Shout out to you, man. Anyway, this video was too long, but hopefully you enjoy. Run them numbers up. Tell your boy what you think, man. Let's get this conversation started. And on that note, I'm your boy Zot, and I'm out. See all them freaking grays?